Hey, Cameron here with the Sea Butters channel, and today I thought we'd do something, well, pretty stupid. Um, and before I get a flood of comments saying how dumb this is, um, I just wanted to see what would happen if you took something like the HTC Vive and put it onto a Surface Book Pro. This is the i7 model with the 965M NVIDIA graphics chip. Now, it's probably going to be very underpowered for the VR task at hand, but I just thought it'd be fun to see what it could actually do. And like I say, if you do want to do VR, use something like your desktop PC and like a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. That's what I run it on normally. But just for fun, let's go ahead and see what it takes and what the experience is like putting this HTC Vive onto the Surface Book and seeing what kind of performance we get. It's probably not gonna be that great, but it'd just be neat to see. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is one of these. It's a display port to HDMI. Hopefully that works when the power's in. I think it should. Yep. So we've got our HDMI port, and then I'm gonna take the Vive's control module here, and it has two cables that need to go in. One is the HDMI. We're going to put that into the HDMI adapter, and then the USB we're going to plug in on the other side here. So first things first, before we get going on this, we are going to go ahead and run the SteamVR performance test. And what do you think this is going to tell us? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's not going to tell us that this machine is good for VR. But it's kind of funny. So to make this program actually run and to make the VR run, you have to force it to use the NVIDIA graphics card in here. The Surface Book uses something called Optimus graphics. And what that does is it kind of passes buffers between the NVIDIA GPU and the Intel GPU so that they're able to use the same video display ports. The problem with that is it adds latency. So what that means is your VR experience is going to be a little bit delayed, which can be jarring. But if you look at this little test that's running, the cool thing is it actually looks pretty smooth, at least looking at it on this screen. But what you're looking for in VR is something that's 90 frames a second, which really makes things more smooth. If things are juddery or glitching, it really can mess with the way that your brain is sensing the world. And when you have that headset on, it can cause disorientation, motion sickness if you don't have a smooth graphics experience. Some people are more susceptible to that than others. A juddery experience, the smoother the better. Okay, so the biggest thing that we see here is, oh, your GPU is HD Graphics 520. It's really not. It's using the NVIDIA graphics card, but for some reason it's sensing that. I know it's using the NVIDIA graphics card because I specifically told it to in the application settings, which I can show you how to do. But also, I can hear the fan on the NVIDIA GPU ramping up, so I know that it's using the right one. But here's the key thing. Frames below 90 frames a second right here. So 51.9% of the frames were below 90 frames a second. The good thing about that is half of the frames were above 90 frames a second, which gives me a teeny bit of hope that we might be able to do something worthwhile on this. But here we've got, let's get the Vive up and running and see how that goes. Okay, so at this point I've got the Vive plugged in and it's installing all of the required drivers and everything like that. And let's go ahead and turn on SteamVR and see what happens. There we go. SteamVR is connected. I've got the lighthouses turning on. So let's set up room scale. Everything looks good. Okay, so you guys have probably seen this setup, but I'm gonna take the controller and just kind of set up the room environment. Now I'm just gonna trace my space. Test the sound. Okay, so I thought I'd just change the camera angle to let you see what I'm seeing on that screen. And first thing I want to say is, having used VR on a really nice graphics card, we're here in the demo setup, and it is actually quite jarring. It's very choppy. I don't know if you can see on that screen very well, but there's quite a bit of jitter that's happening. However, things are in 3D and things are semi-working. So due to the fact that this is just the demo setup and it's not running ideally, doesn't bode well for future games or getting a nice experience on the Surface Pro. But if you wanted to experience a few demos, you could do it. However, if you have the money to purchase a HTC Vive, my guess is you have the money for something like an RX 480 or anything like that. But if you have minimal space or don't want to build hardware, or I don't know, you won a Vive in the lottery, maybe then you'd want to do it. But anyways, it works. Not ideally. Let's try one more game and see if there's any better experience. I can think of one game that just is really bare bone graphics, so let's go check that out. Okay, so here's another game that we're going to try out. This one's called Climby, and it's actually a really fun game. I probably spent more hours in on this game than anything else, but you can see it's working, and if you're looking at that screen, it looks nice. Like if that was a game, you'd be like, yeah, that runs pretty smooth. But let's put on the headset, see how it looks. I know you guys can't see that on the video, but there's no real way to film this. So anyways, so here we are in the game, and I can tell you right now that it's about the same as all the other games that we've been looking at and the setup. But as you can see, and I'm gonna break the camera. That'd be really awesome. But you can see that we are able to play the game, but you know what? You'd get really sick in this. In game, it's really jittery. Like if I turn my head, it's not a smooth experience at all. So, I don't think VR is gonna work too well. It works, but it's because of the fact that you have such a sensitivity to smooth motion, it's just not gonna work reliably. The only real use case I could see for this is if you had a relative and you're going home for Christmas or going to visit your brother, and you can't pack up your gaming PC, but you're like, dude, you have to experience the 3D-ness of the HTC Vive or something like that, and you can show them, yeah, it works and it's cool and there's hand tracking and it's pretty cool, but kind of a bust for doing it on the Surface Book, even with the 965M graphics, which I'm not surprised. We knew at the beginning that this wasn't going to work, but kind of a cool, I don't know. I like trying to push hardware to its max, and this is just kind of something fun to do. And you know what? If I didn't have a gaming computer, I would mess around in here. But yeah, definitely not ideal. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you like this video, this pointless video. And be sure to thumbs up and like it. Check out my other videos, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.